You're listening to Blue Radio, bringing the vibe.
And a very good morning once again to all our listeners from back at home. Thank you very much for tuning in right here on Blue Radio. My name is Maricela Kimbia on the We Talk Show. And today's topic, we had said, is on mental health stigma among women. And we will be breaking barriers to suicide prevention today. And as I had said earlier, we're having an amazing guest joining us all the way from Sisters for Justice. And I'm going to give her an opportunity and welcome her to the show. Na tuambie briefly kidogo, who is she and what she does in our organization? Karibu.
Asante sana. Thank you so much, and I'm really glad to be here at Blue Radio. And this was our first ideas of the radios together with Gilbert before it was like this. So I'm very glad to see this and good presenters like you in here together with your colleagues. Thank you so much for the show. I think we've started early enough on the issues of prevention on suicide. And we know that many situations brings about those situations to someone before taking the step ahead of committing suicide or mental issues. I think people have been talking about mental, but it seems like no one is getting it out very well. But it's something that a human being can be able to prevent it, can be able to overcome it, as much as you keep yourself positive, as much as you keep yourself positive and have hope in this world. We know we have been giving reports to the government, or we've been reading reports from Kenya National Commission on Human Rights, talking about prevention on suicide, we're talking about mental health issues. These things goes along together, but through the research, they've said that there are many obstacles that made a human being to take that step, because it's usually a last step of human being, because committing suicide, my friend, is not an easy task. It's something unless you're mental ill. I think like few weeks back we saw a young boy who committed like Ali Yuashia. He hit the fire on himself. That boy was an engineer person. He did engineering in Eldoret. Imagine, according to the mother, the way she was saying, that boy was not mentally well. So I think it's high time people to understand that if someone takes such step, you don't give that person a way forward or a giveaway. Because there was a story that time that when he was trying to lead the march box, it fell down because of the slippery of oil. But there was someone there who was like, this guy is talking about Raila, Raila. What is wrong with him? So probably he thought he's just a normal person talking such thing. That he's dying for him, he's dying for what. So such kind of words, community really needs to know that no one can just wake up, went to such a place and try to do something. So obviously we need to prevent. It's the role for everyone. That is what the United Nations is saying, that in these mental issues, it's a role for everyone. Even at home, when you see your boy just keeping quiet, he's just not normal. Obviously, you'll ask that boy, what is wrong with you? Oh no, I'm okay, mom. Because we've also had a case of a 9 years boy just here in Topanga, Sunlight. That boy committed suicide.
Oh, when was that?
I think last year, but one. A 9 years old, my neighbor. You couldn't even think, even kids can commit suicide. So it's high time people need to understand the conversation needs to take up, such like this. And let's see how possible between us, between the government and the society at large, on how we can prevent such thing before it give us harm. Yeah.
Exactly. And thank you very much. And to all our listeners, that is the kind of conversation we'll be having today, this morning, all the way until 11 a.m. So, but unfortunately, let's take a quick short break because of some technical issues, but we'll be right back shortly. But in the meantime, make sure to interact with us through all our social media handles at Blue Radio KE and on Facebook at Blue Radio Kenya. And my name is Maricela Kimbia right here on the We Talk Show. Stay tuned for more.
You're listening to Blue Radio, bringing the vibe.
Una kitu mimi nataka niweleze. Una kitu mimi nataka niwajuze. Kuna radio namba 1 mtaani. Hapa Mombasani. Yani shavuma kitani. Hapa Mombasani. Go blue. The blue radio tuna go blue. Oh na na na. Go blue. The blue radio tuna go blue. Oh na 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 na. Go blue. The blue radio tuna go blue. Oh na na na. Go blue. The blue radio tuna go blue. Oh na na. Radio inainua vijana. Both my big boys wasichana. Radio namba 1, Blue Radio. Radio namba 1, Blue Radio. Monday, Blue Economy. Tuesday, Business Technology. Wednesday, Health and Lifestyle. Thursday, tunaku inspire. Go Blue. The Blue Radio tuna go blue. Oh na na na. Go Blue. The Blue Radio tuna go blue. Oh na 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 na. Go Blue. The Blue Radio tuna go blue.
And we are back again to all our listeners. Karibuni sana. My name is Marisela Kimbio right here on the We Talk Show. And we had just said that we are discussing on mental health stigma among not only women but everyone else in our society, because this cuts across even the boy child in our society, because they also make a part of what we call a family actually. And family is both boy child and the girl child as well. But as we talk about mental health, we are approaching the World Suicide Prevention Week that is set to begin tomorrow all the way to the 16th. And we are trying to break the stigma. And maybe we can talk about what are some of the stereotypes, the gender stereotypes that women face that will lead them into, being affected by mental health illnesses.
For us, maybe we can just, apart from women, I know women are more vulnerable in every situation. As a women-led organization, we've been trying to advocate for women advocacy issues for them. But when it comes to mental issues, I think it cut across, like what you've said, both genders. And according to the statistics of national police service crime rates, men, according to the statistics, men are the one committing suicide very high. I was even shocked when I was doing such research. And this is very clear that most of our men or most of boy child, let's bring it like that, they fear or they have a stigma that when they come and talk about their problem, it will be a shame for them. So sorry for that. So we the high, and it's probably, and psychologically, what I was reading yesterday is that men, when they have issues, they just need their space. Amekuja kutoka kazini, he's having his own issues. He'll come and sit at the corner and keep quiet. So you as a wife, you'll be like, what is wrong with him? What is wrong? You're trying to cheering him up, but he's like, according to the psychologists, they say just leave that person alone, especially men. But for us women, when we have issues, it's the time that we need someone to listen to us. We need someone to accompany us. We need someone to tell us that it's okay. Things will be fine. compared to men. You see, so those are the different issues. So the suicidal rates or issues about suicide, the mental issues, mostly we can say that it's really affect men, and this is high time that men need to speak. Just like how women we speak about our problem, it's not a shame, it's not a stigma, or it's not like there's something wrong. No, but I think this is naturally. I don't know how men are being built, but they are being brought that they are masculine. You're not supposed to. You need to be strong. Even at home, unaambiwa ni kijana, don't cry. That's not good. If that boy is affected and you're telling him don't cry, or you are a strong boy, boys don't cry, boys don't this. Those are the types, or those are the culture that they grow up with, and end up doing something very wrong. And many other things, especially when it comes to social media nowadays. We don't leave social media aside.
Right.
Those are the first triggers of mental health issues. Believe you me, Mary, when you're attached to social media, or you're attached to those technology and many other things, they can just give you a bad vibe, let me just say that. And you need to know who is this. Do you know content creators are highly affected mentally? Do you know that?
I do. Because I think most of them actually are victims of cyberbullying.
Exactly. Apart from cyberbullying, I was trying to be a content creator before. These things was crazy. Man, you look for things that you're going to get the followers. You look for, someone is leaving a place, going to rent somewhere just to create a content for the social media. So those kind of lifestyle we see in the different YouTube, we have different people coming up with their own ideas, but outside here or African places, we have not reached a level whereby, I was remembering the TikTok manager when he was trying to explain why he came up with this. It was specifically for bringing economic in Japan, I think, Japan or China. They were trying to showcase their businesses to the world. But now, is it the same?
It's a totally different platform.
It's totally different platform, and it's highly used by young people. And I think when it comes to social media, or when it comes to technology, or when it comes to this part of lifestyle, it's really high time to people to be disciplined on themselves. You can be disciplined on yourself.
Exactly.
You can be disciplined for your child, for your brother, just tell that person in a cool way. You know, us when trying to correct someone, we be like, don't do that. Don't. You don't give the explanation. You don't give someone the reasons why are you telling. The tone. Variation tone. Those are the things that when you deal with mental issue people, you know, those mental issues categorized to be a health issues, health status issues. It's just like any other person. You're very sick, someone is shouting at you, and you be like, why is he shouting to me, or why is she shouting on me? So those are the things that we really need to conversate. We really need to talk about it, and we have a role to play as a society, whereby you can take a step. Like for example, what can I do, or what can you do, or what can she do about prevention of suicide or mental health issues in the society? Simple, creating awareness first of all, and I think we are doing it now.
Of course,
here.
this is the entire point of everything.
So we do creation. Sometimes you go sit down with your community, check on the counselor. Counselors are there, and I think it's the growing professional career, because before these things were like, why do you need a counselor in an office?
Right.
For what? The HR is there. No. But it's coming up very strongly that psychologists are there, or counselors are there. And it's not a matter of you being a counselor. Or it's something naturally. When you see something's going wrong, when you have those signals, I usually talk to women. When you see the red flags to your man, he's coming, beating you, he's coming, and doing so many issues about you. He doesn't give you, he doesn't care about you. He beats you, he does all the things that is not correct in human being, then that is a clear red flag. So for us, we feel like there's a red flag, maybe you'll see somewhere. But when I talk to them, I usually tell them love is compassion, love is passionate, love is something good. When you hear people loving each other, you won't hear this kind of cases. No, why are you telling me your husband loves you and he does this? So there's no love there. So I think when we do talk with women, before when they come in, they have so much stress. Yeah, they have a lot in their heart. They have a lot. Some even cry. So we give a room in our office, Sisters for Justice. We try to tell her, just relax. So there we are directly dealing with mental.
Okay.
Apart from dealing with GBV cases or divorce cases or any community cases, but when when she arrives in the office, the first thing you will notice the sign, she's crying. She's not even talking. That's a clear indication that this someone is affected mentally. But to us Africa, or to us Sisi wa Swahili, we don't know such things.
And actually in Africa, it's not something that is commonly talked about, because most people generalize it. They take it to be like a myth. A misconception. When you tell someone like I'm experiencing anxiety attacks, they're like, it's all in your head. I'm depressed. It's all in your head. And I think another stereotype that we have actually noted is on children specifically, because most people will be like, a child, what is stressing a child? You are 10 years old, so ni nini nakukula kichwa? You see, so something like that. And this child is probably undergoing some mental issues, and maybe he or she has like childhood traumas, and these are the things that are driving these children straight to becoming suicidal. And at the end of the day, I think those are reports that showed there are a lot of kids committing suicide right now. The rate is really high compared to before, and I think that is what is causing them, because even when I was growing up, there were some issues that maybe you could approach a grown-up or a parent, and you're like, hey, Miss Kwezi, I can't read well, usiku silali. Instead of them thinking of it like this is something, something mentally eating her up, and they're like, nah, ni mtoto, mbona unakubali hizo vitu sikukule kichwa?
I imagine.
You see, and I know most there are some people who handle these things differently. Some of them handle it well, some of them don't know how to handle it. So it even the way you approach this person who is experiencing mental health issues, it really brings a certain picture on how you decide to approach this person, whether in a good way or in a bad way, and that is going to impact this person's life in different ways depending on how you make that approach. So now let us talk about some of the solutions that you give to these women who come to you in your organization with the essence of getting help on mental health issues related like that.
First, after interviewing them or after seeing such signal with them, we usually try to calm the person or the woman, and we try to, we are not giving a hope or so much hopes, or we're trying to make her relax and explain such situation in a bigger scope. Like, for example, you can even get yourself an example. Say, even if it's not there, just try to calm the situation. You're telling her, like, just relax. These things are everywhere. You're not the only one dealing with men with GBV cases. Men have issues. Women have issues. Then that is when we bring the psychological part, whereby men need this. As women, we need that. Sometimes I even go to an extent like telling them to cry. Because someone is trying to cry, you'll be like, no, don't cry. No, we just give her room. We tell her, cry. Even if you don't want to cry, I'm seeing how hardly you're coming, just cry. Someone will cry there like 2 to 3 minutes, keeping quiet. The whole office is quiet. And for us as human rights defenders, it's reached a level. We are human beings, right? I used to be told with my colleagues, other HRDs, that, Naila, don't be sympathetic. Be empathetic. Try to make them these things affect all of us.
Yeah.
You know, someone coming there, amekuwa na miscarriage, amepigwa the whole night, he was bleeding. She's even asking you for Panadols and any medical, anything you have. So in the office, we also keep those things. Yeah. So at that level, we try to make her understand. We try to take the situation legally also, you know, like this is the legal way. Are you really ready to do this? For example, GBV. Your man, when you go to police, when you report this, when you do this, when you do this, these are the consequences, and this is the penal code on how he will be taken off. How many years? It's 5 years or so, but she'll be like, no. You see, so mental health, mental issues, preventions are all about giving someone a room to express him or herself. Yeah, and such things, and also external factors, they contribute to this to that situation. External factors is the outside thing, outside world, the way things are shoot, the way things are very high, things are like this. The inflation in the country, it contributes these things because we don't see it in that pictures. Because once these things are high, like for example, just recently when I was in the market, the husband was like, no, don't take that. People were arguing in the market. It's not just, the wife was like, now why can't we use this? Why? That man hana pesa ya afford such thing. So it's high time for us women also to understand the situation of our men. Like for example, the husband comes home, you see that he's typically very low. He tells you that manze madhe leo things were not good. It's an automatically a bad face or a different expression for women. Let's be sincere. Sometimes when we talk to them or when I handle such kind of cases, the husbands come because I listen to both parties. When the husband come and I say, Mom, it just 2 weeks I've failed to pay the fees. Do you know how much is that fees, madam? And be like, no. It's 120. Where can I get 120,000 within 2 weeks when the school is open? You'd be like, no, why did you? So there's some certain situation as human being. That is where we bring human right based approach. Human right based approach is whereby we take ourselves as human rights. We take ourselves as human being. Be it your husband, be it your boss, be it be your boyfriend, be anyone. But when you bring human rights based approach, that is the right to live, right freedom of expression, those kind of human rights. When I get time, I'll come to do the teaching about it. But once we put a human right based approach in ourselves, in our marriages, in our schools, in our offices, anywhere we go, like this is a human being. Why is he being treated like this? Why is someone doing this for me? It's not right. Have you had such kind of intelligence or something coming up on you? Yeah, because once you put human rights based approach in you, then things will be really moving out. And men need to explain to their women when it comes to mental health. GBV. Most of the time, men will explain themselves that I was not okay that day. Mambo ilikuwa inanikula kichwa. So such things, we feel like those are the root causes of GBV. And when we want to solve such situation, we know government is trying to implement so many things. We have SDGs goals implementation 2030, but there are these small things that we think they're being neglected, like your mental health issues. They'll impose so many money or policies to GBV or to GBV, to mental, but there are things that we think when we tackle them before, it will not reach to a GBV sector. Yes.
Thank you very much. And I want to give an opportunity to all our listeners, in case you have a question that you want to ask our guest. We are right here and we will get back to you and answer you very shortly. So take that opportunity as we go to this very short break, and then we'll be back later with more right here on Blue Radio on matters concerning mental health and how we can break the stigma in our society. So stay tuned right here. My name is Maricela Kimbia on the We Talk Show.
To advertise with us, write to us through info.blueradio@gmail.com or info@gelitixmedia.co.ke or call 0708 890 404. Visit our website www.gelitixmedia.co.ke or our radio website blueradio.co.ke.
And welcome back to our show. My name is Maricela Kimbia right here on the We Talk Show. And we had said that to interact with us, make sure you engage with us pale on our social media platforms at Blue Radio KE and on Facebook at Blue Radio Kenya. Send in your questions and we will answer them. You can also share your requests as well. And today's topic being mental health and breaking the stigma against women and creating, suicide prevention solutions right here. We have a guest all the way from Sisters for Justice, and we had already begun our conversation, so we're just going back on a recap and continuing on the same. So very quickly, I think we should just address the story on suicide criminalization in the country, because the government had said that they'll start criminalizing people who had attempted suicide but survived. So maybe you can give us some comments on that.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I think this is very good. I usually try to bring a legal aspect in every conversation so that when we explain to people, we don't just explain, but we explain it through what our laws has governed us. According to Section 226 of the Penal Code, that was on laws of Kenya, that any criminal liability or individual who try to commit suicide, he or she might be convicted to 2 to 3 years, if I'm not wrong, in jail. But let's take a good example on the Shakahola situation. Those over 300 women and men were trying to starving themselves to death. That was exactly a suicidal commitment. But as human rights defenders, and we saw how Kenya National Commission on Human Rights committee, when they were trying to decriminalize such legal part, whereby they just explain just what I was explaining here. Any individual who attempts to kill themselves have mental illness, and they deserve to be taken for medical care instead of being arrested and charged in the court law, whereby it's automatically that no any human being or a normal sounded mind can try to do such situation. It's either that person is affected psychologically, or someone has imposed some certain insight in himself or herself, like what we've heard how Mackenzie used to brainwash their followers to an extent. You feel like, how can someone convince a woman of a young baby to starve until the baby dies in her lap or in that situation? So you can automatically see this thing is not normal. It's either illness, it's either mental disorder, and so many other things. So and it's also confirmed by the science that any individual who attempts to kill themselves, that person has an mental illness. So this this penal code, or this law that has been there since colonial, I think with the issues of mental health arising now, before there was no such kind of talk of mental health or mental whatever. So I think the commission was putting out that their fundamental human rights and freedom have been violated, especially in that Shakahola strategy, and more rights need to be taken care of. Right to life, because that is the first principle of human rights fundamentals, that right to life, human dignity, social and economic rights, and the rights of an arrested person. So they were trying to explain to the Senate or the government whereby hizo vitu zikuwe considered, whereby those situation in the country, it's one, walisema it's because of economical rights. And there's those social, maybe their leader was trying to do that. So we are trying to make the government to understand the human perspective apart from law perspective. Law is there, whether we want or we don't want, but law, it doesn't go to animals, it does goes with the human being. Yeah.
Exactly. And very much I want to read a comment by Rita. Thank you very much, Rita, for tuning in right here on Blue Radio. Rita is saying, I think we should address the stigma that is involved in the workplace area, because most women will worry about professional consequences if they disclose mental health issues. And I think this is really something really nice, because the other day I was checking some, job vacancies on LinkedIn, and I happened to stumble across one particular one that I was, trying, to give my application there. And one of the segment there was on, it was basically a question on the personal information, and they wanted to know whether you are someone who is experiencing mental health issues, or whether you've been diagnosed with mental health issues. And I found it really inappropriate for some reason, because why would they want such kind of information? Because let's say, for instance, I'm schizophrenic, but I'm trying to gain experience somewhere, or I'm trying to get money, to finance my lifestyle. But if I include that there, does that mean that they are trying to encourage people with mental health issues to apply for the job, or they're just trying to roll us out, in that bracket that these people who are experiencing mental health issues, they're in this group, and maybe we don't want them?
I think apart from that, I'm glad there's an organization or somewhere that you're trying to apply that they consider such aspects in their company, which is not there, like what the listener she was saying. Most of the time when it comes to a professional work, I've had like 2 to 3 people just doing a resignation, and when they explained to their bosses, they were like, they can't continue due to their depression, mental health that is caused at the office. We stay over 8 hours in our offices.
Yes.
We spend so much time to our offices than when it got to our homes. So when the reason it was like depression, mental issues, just in the office, what have we done to you?
Exactly.
The boss was trying to explain to her, no, me, I'm not considering you, you're a performing person, all this situation came into the offices because of positions. Like this one is on top of her. There's a lot of politics in the offices. I think we can agree. Maybe in these radios you entertain yourself, but when you go to the offices outside there, Mary, you'll find so many obstacles in the offices. You can't reach a boss. You can't reach the directors. There's something that you're doing. No one is appreciating you. There's no love. There's no teamness. This situation happens in a day-to-day life for the people who are doing going to offices. They're doing their being employed to an extent that you feel like you're working, your work does not being appreciated. So such situation, we know HR room is a place where you can go and explain yourself to that, but it is very rare. Mostly of HR will try to counsel you, will try to look for situation, but physically or mentally or emotionally, you need to prepare yourself. Just sit down, analyze yourself, do your assessment. Is this work appropriate for me? If I still continue in this area, will I be able to reach this and this angle? There was someone every day was crying to me, every day, every other day, office. They give other opportunity. Me, Nico too. They do this. They do. I just told that person, just quit. Try to look for a place where your mind will work. It's not a matter of you're being paid so much there and you're not at peace.
Exactly.
Say, don't interfere with your peace. Let me just tell you this.
Yeah.
If a place doesn't give you peace, even if you're getting a millions money or you're getting goodies in that area, it's not for you.
Yeah,
it's not
right.
good for your health. It's not good for your mental. It's not good for everything. Because even healthically, once you are affected psychologically, Mary, you'll also feel your body differently.
Exactly.
Yeah? You'll not be able to eat, or you'll be overeating. There are people who are overeating.
Yeah.
Don't see someone who is overeating, you be like, oh, anapenda kula. No, there's something wrong in the brain, ama in the mentally. Some will lose weight, some will try to be weak. Pale tu naambiwa someone has died out of collapse or not. So I think a working place should be a place whereby the employer need to give a fundamental right to them, whereby they treat people equally. Yeah, they treat people as per their range, their position. I think workplace need to be done, something need to be done in the working area situation, whereby this conversation really needs to, but mi mwambia to the employee, you are the one who has been employed there. Go do your work, go back home.
Exactly.
And if you feel like going there, it's a hectic for you, believe me, that will not be a good place for you.
Yeah,
just resign, just do your own research. Before that, you get another job. And she's employed to other organization. The lady, the one I was telling you, she's employed to another organization. She's okay. She's even much better. When you tell her, I quitted because of my own mental issues. So yeah, and depression is there. Depression is part of prescription from the doctor.
Exactly.
Sometimes you be like, what is this depression? But depression is a situation where you feel like you can't think anymore. You're in a situation that you don't know how to do it. You are stuck. Those are depression. You feel like you want to cry. Some say, I really want to burst into cries. That's an indicator of you are being depressed.
Exactly.
So sometimes ukimwelezea tu daktari, you feel this thing, the doctor will know if she's depressed. Atakwambia, Naila, you stress. Is something wrong at work? Is something good at home or bad at home? Then the doctor or the counselor or the practitioners will come and assess you, or they'll give you a situation. I'm not sleeping. For me, I've been having an insomnia. I'm not sleeping at night, and even at day, I'm not even trying like sleeping. So, kama ujalala usiku, mchana unakuwa drowsy. For me, it was not there. So the doctor was trying to counsel me, and he was telling me, Peter, Naila, you need to slow down yourself. You overthink so many things, like you're trying to make things end so easily. So I think there are those quotes in the internet. Kingia kwa internet ama kwa simu, just look for those motivational talks.
Exactly.
Sometimes they give you a hope. There are people wakiamka tu asubuhi, there's those note they are reading. Just wake up, it's a good day for you. And it's automatically, when you're telling yourself it's a good day for you, it is a good day for you.
Of course.
So we need to practice ourselves. How are we embracing easy technology? It's part, kuna hizi motivational talks that they give people. Instead of listening music sana pia, you get this
you just log into YouTube and you can search
you
them
get
out.
them and they'll motivate you. You'll feel energetic. We have in the religious lecturers, they'll give you hope. They only give hope. Have you noticed? When they do their talks, they just impose hope on you. That's what I was telling you. Hope is very important to any human being.
Now, speaking of hope, what are some, maybe briefly, what are some of the programs that your organization, that is Sister for Justice, have come up with to help these people? And also, maybe you can also include some of the partnerships that you've worked with as well.
Yes. One of the programs that we are doing, and we are really working on it, it's on the mental health issues. First of all, as Sisters for Justice, we are a human rights women-led organization based in Kisauni, and our main agenda is to advocate for women and girl child, but for the community at large, on the issues of security. First, we came out on the issues of security. We came out on the issues of accessing justice and legal aid. Then we thought of the GBV part. It's included to health department through mental health.
Okay.
So we do such 3-4 pillars purposely to assist community in terms of their progression. You know, community need to progress, community need to develop, but such development, where will we get it? When we go to different areas, for example, in our areas, when I was talking to them during our forums, I will tell them the places that kids goes to school, automatically you'll see that area being developed. How? Because when the boy goes to school, akimaliza university, that person or that boy or that child of yours will be employed to a good organization, to a better place. When he goes there, he'll come back to rebuild their Swahili house to a storing building. Don't think they just do that. Or you also see the investors coming to your area. They've seen this, they want to build that because of the security, because of the good community moral and all that. So when I go around, or when Sisters for Justice goes around, we try to build the community development, the situations.
Nice. Thank you very much.
You're
and it's really, really unfortunate that I'm seeing that our time is up, because
Yeah,
it is
really.
10:54 a.m.
Yeah.
And it's kind of sad, because it's really an engaging conversation, but I'm really sure
it has been interactive, right?
I'm sure we'll have another session maybe on some other time as
no
well,
problem.
so that we can touch on issues that we've not touched on as
Yeah.
well. But before we close the interview, maybe you can give us, some insights on how people can get to you, can approach your organizations, maybe your
Okay.
social media handles and your contacts as well.
Yes. Sisters for Justice, we are based in Kisauni, Mwandoni Sunlight Building.
Okay.
Just two building, then Sisters for Justice is there. You can also find us on our website, www.sistersforjustice.org.org. We also have Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at S4JS, 4J Mombasa.
Okay, lovely. And maybe 1 minute you can give us your last comment that you want to give to the people who are listening.
For me, I don't have many comments. What I can say, just let's take care of ourselves first. Take care of yourself as a human being, as a listener, as a boda rider, as a driver, as anyone there outside. Take yourselves first. Then you'll be able to take care of others.
Thank you very much. And I think I forgot one thing. What are you preparing for in this World Suicide Prevention Week? Is there something special that we're expecting?
Nothing much, because these programs comes with financial constraints.
Right.
Like you want to do something, but those setbacks of construction, budgetings and all that. But I will try to look for something before the 16th ends.
Okay.
And I think I've started. Today
exactly.
is our creation of awareness. We've started with this, so maybe ending tutamalizia pia na a radio talk show,
and we're really looking forward to engaging with you more and more
problem.
in the future.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.
And welcome very much. And to all our listeners, that was Naila Abdullah, all the way from Sisters for Justice. And thank you very much for tuning in. And in case you tuned in late and you missed an opportunity to interact and listen to our interview, you'll find it on our YouTube page, that is at Blue Radio Kenya. So make sure you like, subscribe and share all our comments right there, and we will be updating you shortly on our interview that we have just had. So in the meantime, please tune in, continue staying right here, because we still have an hour to go before the end of our show, but I still have more and more details coming in for you right here on Blue Radio. So stay tuned. My name is Maricela Kimbia on the We Talk Show.
I think you fell in love too fast. African nights and a cool rush.